soul. God, get at your boy. You try to go guard, fall back. I go hard on this lonely road, trying to make it home. Doing it by my lonesome, pissed off flow. So
I see them long, hard times to come.
So hopefully everything's working right now for audio. Should be.
Yeah, well, I can hear you. What was that boat called again? That remind me the name of that damn thing.
Oh, the
Skiff.
stick boat.
Well, that's all it was called, huh? Stick boat.
Stick boat.
I can't remember if it was stick, skiff, or...
Nah, it's the stick boat. But I don't think it I had it saved somewhere, but I can't find it anywhere.
I can't find it either.
But I do have I know
I found it on Facebook. I think that's where I saw it.
Yeah. So how did the locals do? How did the locals do in the Idaho tournament?
Well, I haven't talked to anybody yet, other than I looked at the results, and I'm thinking it looked like it was probably a pretty rough tournament. Somebody posted on Facebook something about they had hail and rain, and I already know from looking at the forecast it was going to be cold. I think they had, I think it was like lows in the upper 30s overnight, and it had rained the day or two before that, so.
Well, it was cold here, so it's definitely colder up by the mountains.
So I'm trying to find the results on Tourney X, and I don't even see Kayak Fishing Idaho on there. Interesting. Well, they only had one tournament loaded under Kayak Fishing Idaho, which was that particular tournament at Dvorak, so maybe that's why it's not even showing up on the list right now.
Maybe they canceled it.
Yeah, no, they had it. Interesting.
Yeah, I was just curious to see what they did. I mean, because I know, well, you figured that storm that came through here probably hit them face on.
I might have it still on the phone. Let me see. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like I have it still. Huh. That's weird. Yeah, I don't have it on there either. Well, I know there was only 11 people, 11 guys in the tournament. I do remember Jordan Parker, Tri-City Kayak Anglers finished 9th. And I know Mike Ragland was the other guy that went down from here, and I had got a text from him that said it sounded like it was rough fishing, and he said he just caught a bunch of little dinks and didn't upload anything.
That sucks.
He said, a matter of fact, I think he said he caught like 50 from the 8 to 11 inch range.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I know Jordan actually uploaded 2 9-inch fish. So.
Oh, really?
That gives you an idea how tough it was.
Probably fishing deep there in drop shotting it.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't sound like it was a whole lot of fun, conditions-wise. And I don't think, obviously, the fish didn't cooperate, because I want to say the biggest fish I saw when I did get a look at the results was probably maybe an 18-incher or 17-something. A lot of small fish, which, Dvorak, that's a place that's known for, I've heard people say that's the fish of a lifetime place.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's strange. So there's not even a tab on the Tourney X homepage for kayak fishing Idaho. So I'm sure it's because their event is already over and they didn't have any more of their schedule loaded yet. I was trying to find somewhere that would show like archives, but
Got an itch on my chest. Right here. Itch. So, what'd you do for Mother's Day?
went to dinner or dinner, I guess. Well, yeah, it was late lunch, early dinner. Took mom and my stepdad out for that, and then came back home and had Maria's parents over here right now for had a little dessert stuff with them. So
Nice.
that is about it. Other than that, I got up, watched the Formula One race.
Yeah, I watched that.
Plenty to talk about in that.
You
You know,
know,
I knew Vettel was screwed when Hamilton came in and put on them shitty white tires and then got the virtual safety car.
yeah,
I knew that saved his ass right there. And then the fact that Vettel, I knew it. I knew he was screwed right there. Yep.
terrible. Terrible
Yep.
that a soft tire would last that long anyhow.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, the soft tire is absolute garbage.
Right.
But yeah, I was a little.
Yeah. I figured you weren't going to be happy about that.
Well, you know me, I'm Team Red, so.
Yeah, I kind of like the red guys too. I don't know. I can't. Hamilton, to me, he's just a smug little prick. That's what he is. I mean, I don't doubt he's probably a good driver, but you know my feeling on Formula One drivers. They're just overpaid go-kart.
Just fucking race go kart.
They're overpaid go-kart drivers, exactly, because, I still stand by it, man. If you drop Kyle or Kurt Busch or Kyle Larson in one of those cars, oh, there'd be hell to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there'd be some crying ass little
You know,
bitches.
get a lot of this like somebody moves in their way.
Oh yeah.
He's
Yep.
pushing me. Why?
What was that? He's blocking. What?
He's blocking. He can't
He's
block.
He's defending his position. You can't do that. That's just ludicrous.
You know, if Bush was driving, he'd be like, "How many wings we got in the garage? How
Right.
quick can we change those out? 2 seconds? All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bump somebody. I'm
Yeah.
gonna rub them." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little distraught on that. But
So of course the big talk was, well, like I said, I really started paying attention to Formula One last year, and then of course this season, and the big talk was all about the upgrades. Like, that was the big talk, the upgrades. Oh, how much different the cars are. Like, well, why the hell are they different? Well, I don't. Let's start there. What do you mean upgrades? It seems like you should start the season and that's what you got and run it out. But,
right?
Different world.
Well, they're talking about Bottas when he blew up that. They had 4 races on that motor. But it didn't sound like a motor went to me. It sounded like he lost electrical, like electric motor seized up, because it made that high pitch.
Right.
I was like, oh shit, that's a generator.
What did you think of the start? Turn 1. Never ending with these guys.
Well, I thought it was all over when Vettel got in front, and then I was like, all right, cool, we're good here. And then numbnuts. It's so funny because even when they were wrecking, his hand went up like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
What are you doing?
Yep.
Put both
Yep.
fucking hands on the wheel, maybe turn. Get
Right.
out of the way. But
Yep.
yeah, after one good thing with Formula One is if you record it, one good thing about it is that after the first lap, you can fast forward it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And then just wait till you
That's what
see
I do.
dirt or somebody
Pit
talking
stops.
to somebody in the pits, and yeah.
That's what I do is when I start seeing the pit stops, then I slow it down and okay, what's going on here? And yeah, like I said, when Hamilton took those shitty white tires, and then he got saved by the safety car, and then I'm like, shit, Vettel still
Mhm.
got to put him on. He's screwed. He's still got to put him on. Which, hey, speaking of tires, that leads into NASCAR. So this coming weekend, they're supposed to do
Yep.
to take their shot at Formula One tire setup.
Yep.
That could be interesting. I don't know. I don't know if NASCAR World's ready for that.
Oh, I think they are.
I think it. Well, they might as well. With everything else they added this year.
Yep. I think it's awesome because that just adds another
Other element.
chalkboard racing to it.
Yeah.
And I think that you're going to see a lot of people figuring it out. Like you could almost guarantee this that Canales has been sitting in his little mad scientist room for the last 2 months since that been said, and he got it all figured out.
Yeah, well, a lot of it, a lot of that's going to come down to course cautions.
Right.
Do you have a caution with a short stint at the end where you could throw on the soft tires, or do you have a caution where I might need to throw on the harder ones?
Right.
So, oh yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah. Hold on a second. You talk while I'm trying to figure this out because I can't type and talk at the same time for some reason. I totally forgot what I was looking for.
Did you see the? You watched the cup? Did you watch the cup race after you got home, or?
Yeah, I watched it this morning.
Yeah, what'd you think of that crash?
That was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
That was pretty brutal. I was the first thing that came to my head was, oh my God, Danica is going to die in one of these races. She is taking another hard hit.
Yeah, kind of what she said in her interview after.
I,
She's like, "When's my number gonna be up?" That's basically what she was saying.
It's just amazing to me on the hits that she takes.
Yep. I think a lot of what saves her is how tiny she is.
You notice I didn't say licks. But yeah, she does take a.
I think a lot of it is how small she is.
Okay, this is what sucks about talking about a girl because I'm sitting there thinking, man, she's taking a pounding. But I can't really say it like that because then everybody's freaking gutters. Yeah. Everybody's heads go in the gutter, right? But if it was a dude, it's like, man, he is taking it right in the ass.
He's getting it handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But you can't say that about her. But no, she has taken some hard hits, and I just, man, dude, she has very bad luck.
Oh yeah.
She has very bad luck. And
my favorite part of the whole thing was, not to make light of it, but when when she got out of the car and she was walking through the grass, and then the next scene they show her and Logano walking to the ambulance. Boy, she was tearing him a new one.
She was all up in his shit.
Oh, yeah.
You could tell her, man. Logano sitting there with that look of talking to a chick too.
Yeah, he couldn't get it out fast enough to say, "Look, my shit broke." Like it wouldn't have mattered anyway. She wasn't hearing it.
Car broke. Oh no, yeah, she was giving him the what for.
And of course, was she running like 10th or something when it happened? So right. Then she was double pissed. Plus, she just got hammered last. Well, there I went and did it.
Yeah,
she just got in a big crash last weekend.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's just what's nuts is that she's just taking hit after hit, and it's she's lucky she's very tiny because that's what's
Yep, that's what I think that's what saves her.
That is what is let's see here.
Did you see the injury report on?
Do you know what the number one
Amarola?
killer of test?
I just saw that he had a broken vertebra.
Compression fracture, yeah, T5 vertebrae. I don't know. It's a different thing than Denny Hamlin had, but I'm guessing he'll be out for a while.
Let me see here.
You would think.
Oh yeah, here we go. So yeah, check it out. Boom! Amarola. Dude.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
No, it's because I didn't share it with you on there, but
okay.
you've seen it.
I saw it. Yeah.
You've seen it, but yeah, that was just a brutal wreck. Look at Danica getting out of that car, boy. She Oh, she's fired up.
Oh yeah, she was
She,
giving him the business.
she looks like a 10-year-old. She's
Yeah.
just so damn tiny. But yeah, Amarola's hit, man. That was, yeah, that was crazy.
Did you get a chance to look at it when I text you that they were cutting him out of the car? Or did you have to wait till later?
No, yeah. Speaking about that, fucker, you're not very good at when I'm like, hey, I'm not watching it. Texting you, text, I'm not watching it. Hint, hint, I don't want to know anything. And you're all like, oh, dude, he's taking a chopper ride. They're cutting his
Well,
ass out of the car. He's going for a ride. So now I'm like
okay.
wandering around going, oh, what the?
All right. So here we go. So in my defense, all right. So my defense, I know you're Mr. Fox Sports Go and you got a million apps on your phone. So I'm thinking, okay, if something important like some dude getting chopped out of his car and a free helicopter ride, I'm thinking, okay, well maybe that's important enough that I get him to say, hey, maybe you want to jump on Fox Sports Go and check this out.
Yeah, but
So
where I'm at, it knocks it down to 3G, so I can't even get email, much less text. I
okay,
mean,
but again, in my defense, my shitty ass T-Mobile will not work at the casino. But you, Mr. Verizon, who can sit at Emma Lake on his phone, I'm thinking, oh, Verizon, he's probably good. He can fire up Fox Sports Go. Anyway, that's my
no,
side of it.
no. But it was a brutal wreck, yes. Yes. That was pretty gnarly. And I can't believe that Logano walked away. He's the one that took 2 hits.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal, man. It just goes to show you, man, how safe those cars really are.
Yeah.
I mean, Amarola, that was probably just an inertia. Just the force of the hit.
Well, that and he probably figured, when he did see the smoke and stuff, I'm sure he was already committed to the high line, but he probably thought, self-cleaning banks. But
Well, did you know he was actually, if you watch that one replay, he was sideways coming through that turn. Like he tried to hit the brakes and he went sideways and he came in there at that angle that they showed it just now. You can't really tell, but there's another camera view from the wall. And
mhm.
when they're wrecking, you could see him just coming through the middle of the turn, and he just gets it sideways, and he's just coming all the way in sideways, like he's just along for the ride. Like he tried to do something, but he couldn't because I mean, really, that's an ARCA wreck right
Hey,
there.
that's pretty funny. So, you know how I said that's weird. So you know how I said there was no tab for kayak fishing Idaho,
Hmm.
and now one just showed up because there was an even amount of on the tabs. On the tabs across the screen, there was an even amount of columns and rows. Now all of a sudden there's one, like they added a tab, obviously, and go figure. So
Right?
maybe somebody was listening. I don't
I
know.
doubt that.
So let's pull up the archive tournament. Here we go. I got the results right now. So the guy that won, some guy named David. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name because I would probably butcher that. Anyways, he won with 74 1/4 inches for 5 fish. His biggest fish was 17 inches.
That's not a
Smallest
bad
was
fish.
14. I'm sorry, not 14. His smallest was 10 3/4. So his fish were 17, 14, 16 1/4, 16 1/4, and 10 3/4. So think about that, man. That little 10 3/4 fish that won him the tournament.
Right? Yeah, that and he got 5.
Well, everybody got 5 that uploaded a fish except for like Mike didn't upload any. So 10th place got 5.
Oh,
Everybody got 5 fish. So Jordan, the other guy from Tri Cities, he got 9th place, 51 3/4. He's got 2 10s, two tens, a 9, a 9.5, and a 13 1/4.
yeah, that's tough
That's
fishing.
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean, that was about as rough as our weekend.
Hmm. Yeah, big fish for the tournament was 18 even. And that was Tom Monahan. They got third place.
How big was the fish? I'm sorry,
Big
I
fish
was in La
was,
La Land right there for a
yeah, that's
second.
fine. Big fish was 18 inches.
What was your big one this weekend?
19 and 3/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing we could talk about is the Washington Oregon monthly online, which I'm still in second place and I lost more ground to the leader because Sean Worrell from Oregon, who's spending all his days tooling around the Oregon countryside chucking a Huddleston, he got him another 20 incher. He caught a 20 and a half.
That's the same guy that won last month too.
No, that was a different Oregon guy that won last month. Although you know what, I'm not sure if he caught this one on the Huddleston or not. I think he did. I know the 22 and a quarter that he caught at the beginning of the month. That was a Huddleston fish. So he's at 97 and a quarter. First place. I'm at 92 and a half.
Just need to catch a pig.
I need to get a 20 incher. Well, I need more than that. My small fish right now is a 17 and a half, so I have a 17 and a half and an 18 that I need to do some upgrading on.
Need to find a 2 in there.
Yeah, I can find a 20.
If we get some weather.
Suppose the next weekend is supposed to be looking good if it holds out.
I was so distraught yesterday. That sucks so bad, man. I haven't been that cold in a long time. But, I mean, it probably should have dressed warmer, but shouldn't have to in the middle of May.
You wouldn't think so.
You know.
And I was sitting there thinking. So I was looking through the video footage today, and man, I gotta get better on this swearing when I'm catching fish, especially big fish. But the only thing I can think this time is it's just been so frustrating lately with the weather, and then you go out there and fight the wind, and
Hmm.
I'm tired of the wind.
Yeah. Well, the wind is just.
I've had enough of that. Like I told Maria, this spring so far weather-wise has been a pure shit show.
It's been pretty bad. I mean,
Except during the week. During the week, if you don't happen to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's gorgeous.
I work.
Hmm.
And then I sit there and think all week long about, man, can't wait for Saturday.
Yep.
Gonna go out, go fishing. Gonna get me a fish.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you buy a lotto ticket. You're already spending the money.
Right.
Right? You got it all planned out on how you're gonna walk into work and tell everybody. And
Right.
it's the same thing with fishing. You wait all week and then you wake up and it's crappy out. And I think, what did I catch? At 2.5 pounder to a 210, and that little dink, and you caught what, 4, 5?
I got 5, yeah.
But two actual decent sized ones,
Hmm.
and everything else was just
Yeah. Only one that I was able to actually put on the
right.
leaderboard.
And we sat in that corner, freezing our ass off, contemplating on hugging each other and just holding each other tight for warmth.
Well, at that point you're sitting there thinking, man, I really wish there's fish in here because I don't feel like going back out on the open water.
No, it was pretty bad. So that's where we need a big boat, so we could be
Yeah.
out there and actually handle it.
Yep.
Rain and wind. It's one thing to be in a bigger boat where you could actually control it, but when you're on a little leaf on top of the water,
Right.
that's just kind of a pain in the ass.
Hmm.
I mean, I have it a little bit easier because I have that trolling motor, but still, it's always one hand on the rod and one hand on the trolling motor, trying
Right.
to get situated. That sucks. Which sucks. Which brings us to our topic of the night. When is a kayak no longer considered a kayak?
Yeah, I sure wish I could find that darn page that we were looking at.
Well, I found one, and it's not the stick boat, but it's pretty much the same thing. And it is a sailing one. And they are calling it a kayak. And it is called the Jet Angler. The Jet Angler Kayak. With a 17.5 horsepower 4-stroke gasoline engine, which will hit speeds up to 32 miles an hour. 32 miles an hour. And price goes for basically $6,000.
Yeah, that's what that boat that I sent you was.
Right, that was called the stick boat. This one's called the jet propelled kayak that can hit 32 miles an hour. And it has a joystick. You control it with the joystick. And here, let me do this. There, you should be able to see it now. And a matter of fact, it might be the same boat. I'm not
That
sure.
looks like it. That does look like it.
Right.
I thought it called it a stick skiff or something.
I thought it was called the stick boat.
Or yeah, stick boat. Well, now that one, back up right there. Whoa, that says Jet Angler Kayak.
Right.
Well, hey, so here's the thing, right? So the way I understand that the KBF rules work, I'd have to go back and look again, but the way I think it said is it has to be marketed and sold as a kayak.
Right.
So if that's called the
Okay, so that's what I'm saying is that if this thing is called a kayak, and
kayak,
KBF says as long as it's sold as a kayak, you can run this thing in KBF tournaments. What kind of shitstorm would happen if some Yahoo pulled up with this bad bitch and basically freaking said, "Where's the fish at? Let's go fishing."
well,
Right?
and for a tournament for 100,000
Exactly. Exactly.
next year.
Hey, look at that thing. That thing is just it's crazy. Yeah, you got a chick washing it. It was like the on 48 hours or another 48 hours when Eddie Murphy comes and walking into the cowboy bar. He's all like, "Where are all the white women at?" Just like that. Where are all the fish at?
I just found it. I just found it on Facebook, the one that I sent to you, and I think it is like the one you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
On there, it's called Stick Boat.
Yeah, stick
Oh,
boat.
STIK.
Oh,
That's probably why I didn't see it on Google search. Let me see. Yeah, Stick Boats. I'll bet that's gonna show it.
now this thing is pretty badass. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean,
So on Salt Strong, they did an article. Salt Strong. If you search Stick Boat, STIK boats on Google, the second one down is an article from Salt Strong from last summer, 2016.
mm-hmm.
And the headline of the article, or headline says on Google, this kayak can hit 27 miles per hour and the entire deck is fishable.
Yeah, that's nuts. So
If it's considered a kayak,
then it would be good to go. But I mean,
68.50 is the price.
where is the breaking point? Where is the when is kayak no longer a kayak? So does that mean that if somebody decides that, look, I'm going to build me the biggest piece of Tupperware, this thing's going to be 20 foot long, 4 foot wide, and I'm going to call it the Mamba Jamba kayak.
Yeah.
I mean, is that good to go?
I'm pulling it up here to see just what the rules say.
And then you're just walking around like you're on the front part of a bass boat.
This is what you should post up on there for this discussion. Is if you go to kayakbassfishing.com rule standards, and it's item number 10, watercraft and propulsion. So it's okay. So here we go. So it starts off saying watercraft acceptable for use in KBF competition are A, small narrow watercraft that the manufacturer identifies and sells as a kayak, including inflatable kayaks and modular kayaks. Okay, so right there they've gone vague with small narrow watercraft. You know, they don't give any dimension limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Acceptable also stand-up paddleboards. Other watercraft specifically approved in advance of competition by KBF management. If unsure about the acceptability of a watercraft, contact KBF management in advance for eligibility determination. And then the next one is D.
Mm-hmm.
It says, under no circumstances will the following watercraft be approved for use in competition: gas or liquid fueled motorized or hybrid fuel / electric power boats or personal watercraft, sailboats, john boats, canoes, pirogues, coracles, rowboats, dinghies and skiffs, float tubes, inflatable rafts, rigid, pontoon style or similar. And then they do have electric motor restrictions below.
Well, yeah, because
Maximum horsepower thrust is 3 horsepower or 155 pound foot thrust. Well, that's still a pretty big.
Which is
155
nuts.
pound foot thrust.
That's more than most
Yeah, right.
freaking bass
Yeah.
boats have.
Right.
I just,
Okay, so then what is that? What's the stick boat powered by? It must be.
it's a jet motor. It's gas.
Yeah, so there you go. That's
It's
how
basically
it's
a Briggs and Stratton lawnmower
Yeah.
motor, probably.
not. Yeah. So there's how that would not be legal.
Well, that's per KPF.
Well, yeah, for KBF, but I mean, as far as America goes, KBF is. They basically are the standard right now for kayak bass fishing.
So basically, you can still build a 20-foot long kayak, 4 foot wide, put a 155 pound 24 volt trolling motor on there, and be legal.
Well, yeah, but here's so under item C, B, item B under C, an electric motor used to propel watercraft may not exceed the lesser of manufacturers labeled maximum horsepower thrust capacity. So if you're building a homemade one, I guess you're the manufacturer, and who determines how. Well, I say I can run 155 foot-pound
Yeah.
thrust. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Does your kayak have any stipulations on what size motor to put on it?
You know, I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I don't think it was ever designed to put a.
I don't. Yeah, that's just what I'm saying. That's just the problem I have with the word kayak. It's no longer. It can mean anything. I care less one way or another, but if you're sitting there at a tournament, I mean, you're already sitting there saying, you know, you've done a tournament and you know what step you need to take to make the tournament worthwhile for you. is you need a pedal kayak.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to be competitive, right? I mean, for the most part.
Well, yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not the end all, but yeah,
Right.
you're giving away too much.
Right. So and that's what I'm saying. So, you know, the next step in kayak, of course, is getting bigger and more stability. And something where you don't have to maneuver the boat. Because I guarantee you this, you can make a freaking motor, an electric motor that's, not gas powered and have it sitting there and work out. But it's just me, I just, my idea of a kayak is nothing bigger than, I would say 10 foot, but I think yours is what, 12, 13 foot?
Yeah, it's over 13. If you were gonna, I mean, the big ones now. I mean, Hobie Pro Anglers, Wilderness Systems. If you looked at, like, let's say the big three companies, which I would say Hobie, Wilderness, Jackson Kayak, I guess you could say five and throw in Feel Free, and I don't know. There's probably realistically there's probably 6 to 7 companies, and probably 14 foot, 14 and under.
Right. Which, yeah, I still think, like I said, let's say 10 foot. Sooner or later, they're going to have to say, okay, this is a fishing kayak for the rules. So like say, let's just take NASCAR for example. You got Toyota, Ford, and Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your three. Those are your three models you could pick from. They all basically do the same thing. And then maybe have like a Formula One set of kayak rules, where it's just a money game.
I could almost. I don't know if it would ever happen, but I could almost see it getting to the point where, because they had over 300 anglers at this past national championship this past March. It was over 300 anglers. So maybe it gets to the point where, on on one hand you could say, okay, maybe it gets to the point where you have a paddle division and a pedal division,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then you got the motor division. You know what I mean? Pretty soon there's just too many. Oh, you got 3 different divisions: paddle, motor, pedal, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. Because like I said, the year before last, I'm pretty sure the guy that won, he was paddling. So.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you can still win. I mean, it's just a matter of finding that spot and catching them. But whether you paddled your ass over there or just rode along for the ride and drank your coffee on the way there, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you could catch them.
Mhm.
Hell, any given Sunday, right?
Oh yeah, but if you're fishing on a little bit smaller body of water, and you can, obviously the guy with the pedals got an advantage, not just that he can typically get there faster than you. Then you got the whole hands-free fishing deal, and yep.
Mm-hmm. Speaking about pedals, so Jackson announced their pedal stuff.
Yep.
So is it fully going? Because I mean, they announced that last year, right? That they were making one.
Right. Well, they were saying at the end of they did a Facebook Live the other day when they unveiled it, and I believe they said people should be able to start getting their hands on them sometime around July. They had a few models, they're going to send out to the dealers first for demos and stuff like that. And
Is it just going to be for the Kusa or whatever the hell it's called?
Kusa FD, yeah, Kusa FD at first. They did allude that there will probably be more models coming down the line, but basically they had to they have to design the hull to work and fit the.
Is that it right there? The one I got up there?
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
On Jackson's website, I think they have a better deal on the actual Jackson. On the Jackson Kayak website.
Jackson.
Where does I say that?
There's that Torpedo. Hey, that is just insane right there. Torpedo
The
kayak
Torpedo.
trolling motor.
Yeah, hey.
Ultralight 403.
Yep, I was looking at that. I was looking at their website earlier today. Expensive. Very expensive. Yep. Look at the price on that sucker.
$2,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what Chad Hoover's rolling around with.
That is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, that's who's sponsoring the KBF, right?
Yep.
Ugh. Then a battery is $600. Does that thing
Right.
come with a battery? Oh yeah, it does.
You know, I was looking at that. I would hope it comes with a battery
Yeah, it does.
for that price.
Yeah, that's crazy. Ugh. That is nuts. Let's see. Introduces the kayak highly innovative flex drive system. Oh, because you're saying that it See, this is all from 2016 though.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What the hell? Well, that's all from 2016. I thought they just announced their shit yesterday or day before.
Yeah, well, no, they put it out last year that they were going to do one, and then I think they spent this past year, R&D in it. I think is what happened. But now they're ready to actually put it out retail.
So you got a big. Okay, I'm just throwing this out here. So the motor flexes. So if you're coming along and it hits something, it'll kick up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the hole, because it has to come up and it has to come up into the hole.
Mm-hmm.
HULL. That's right by your nutsack.
Yeah, it doesn't come that high up though.
How do you know it doesn't come up that high?
Because they showed it. They showed it on the Facebook Live. They demoed it. They showed you how it works when it gets hit and comes up. Yeah, it doesn't come up that high.
What?
It can't come up that high.
What if you're going along?
Because essentially the hole is cut out. So there's like a big cavern
Oh.
under there. So when it slams up, like say it hits something, so the it's hard to explain. You got to watch the video.
You see where it's opened at right there, right? That is a prop that comes up through the hole.
Yeah, but that whole prop doesn't come up. Like maybe, a very short amount of it sticks up.
What if you're going cruising along and you hit a stick? And next thing you know, that stick is jabbing you right in your balls. That basically makes a shish kebab out of your balls.
Well, the other problem is there's a trap door that goes over that hole, and it has a bungee. Because somebody asked that question during the Facebook Live. They're like, well, if the door is closed, what happens when that propeller comes flying up because you hit a rock and the door's closed? And the guy's answer was, well, the door will flex up a limited amount because there's a stretchy bungee that secures the door. It's not like a hard latch. That was their answer.
So I can see it. Somebody else has the ball concerning issues.
The big innovative thing they were talking about on that is that the pedal drive assembly, like all the gears and all the working parts of the pedal part, it's not down in the water like I guess the other manufacturers are. They kept on bringing that point up, that
Hmm.
it's it's, I don't know if you say more mechanically sound or less apt to have problems because that part of the equipment's not in the
Right.
doesn't sit in the water.
It's just too bad we don't have like a decent kayak shop around here that you could demo something.
Yeah, I know, because that's what they always say. And you always hear people demo, demo, demo.
Hmm.
That's like myself, for example. I have a Jackson Big Rig, and at the time when I was trying to decide which way to go, it was Jackson Big Rig or Kusa HD. That's what I had it narrowed down to. And the Kusa was a little bit narrower and a little bit lighter, and I think even a little bit shorter. But my big deal why I wanted to have, a big factor in what I chose was I wanted to be able to stand up if I needed to, stand up fishing.
Hmm.
And so it took me a long time to figure out which way to go. And the big reason why I chose the big rig is because I felt like, okay, if I spend this much money on the Kusa HD, because they were the same price, and then I figured out down the road, like, man, it's just I wish I would have got the big rig because it would have been more stable. So I erred on the side of I knew the big rig was the probably one of the most stable kayaks out there.
Right.
And Chris Funk, who's a Jackson pro staff guy, I actually emailed with him a couple times, and the way he explained it to me was they're both very stable between those two models, but he called the Jackson Big Rig stupid stable, meaning you could be stupid and get away with it.
Right.
So
You never walked all the way to the bow,
no,
huh?
no, I've seen people do that, but I'm sure it's possible. How many times, how many tries would it take you to have success without going swimming? I don't know, maybe 3 or 4.
Right.
I just haven't had a desire to go swimming. I prefer to go fishing.
Right. Not lose all your
And
shit.
honestly, I've never felt, like I was gonna go swimming.
Right.
That's just how stable that boat is.
That's a big boat.
That's pretty solid.
I mean, that's a pretty big ass boat.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking on Jackson's website right now, the Kusa FD. They have the page on there that has all the specs about it. And it's saying manufacturer suggested retail price right now is $29.99. So
Which is
I'm
how much is the? Okay, so who are they competing against? Who's their number one? Okay, we're going to get more sales than these guys. Is it Hobie, or weren't you saying that you thought it would probably be Wilderness?
okay. So in the pedal game, well, so you got Wilderness Systems, which has pedal kayak. Old Town has pedal, and also Native Slayer propels, which Native Native Slayer, their big claim to fame is first with reverse. Um, I was gonna pull it up here and tell you which one or what the price differences are between them. So the cheapest pedal boat on the market is a Perception Pescador Pilot 12, and that goes for like $17.99. That's the cheapest one. Let's see here.
So the Native,
Native Slayer Propel. Well, of course, Native just came out with the Titan, so that's their big thing. We talked about that on the last live that we did. Native Watercraft Titan 13.5, 32.49.
Right.
A Hobie, as we talked about before, Hobie Pro Angler, Pro Angler 14, 34.49.
Look at that native that native Titan looks like a damn bullet.
So I'm sure that Jackson's, I'm sure by pricing it there, they can, they can claim, hey, we're, pedal boat under 3,000.
Well, yeah, they got a 2 in front of it. That's all that matters. That's what people are going to see is a 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they're Jackson, so, they got a good reputation there. Hey, I do like that orange and black Titan, though. That looks pretty damn good. Look how big that fucking boat is, though.
That orange and black you're looking at, that is what Greg Blanchard's fishing out of right now.
How heavy is that pig?
Oh, it wasn't like 150 pounds. Right up there, he passed it. Show full description. I want to say 150 pounds.
Capacity 500 pounds, weight 178.
Even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you figure with all your gear and everything like that, you're probably about 225 dragging it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, really is not bad. I mean, if you got the right cart for it. You just need the right cart. Yeah, that's pretty badass. So, okay, so,
Hobie
me.
Pro Angler is 145 pounds, and it can carry 600 pounds capacity.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you, because you are the resident kayak person, not me. So if you personally had to pick, you had $4,000 burning a hole in your pocket. What are you getting?
Well,
And think about the spots that we go to.
yeah, I would have ruled out. I would have first ruled out the Hobie before last year, just because Hobie didn't have reverse, and that was a huge that was the huge benefit between Hobie versus the native Slayer, was the ability to have reverse. But Hobie fixed that this year, so they just have the little levers that you pull. If you want to go forward, you pull this lever, and backwards pull the other one.
Oh, because before, weren't you saying you had to pick the whole thing up and then spin it around
I'm pretty
and then set
sure
it
you
back
had
down in there?
to go the other way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now they just have 2 levers down there, and you just pull one for one way and pull one for the other way, and it just rotates the pedals or the flippers underneath. So yeah, I don't, I'm thinking about the spots we go to. I mean, I would almost, just off top of my head, lean to something like the Native Slayer, the 13-footer, what Greg Blanchard fished out of last year. I don't know. Is just something about those big boats, and you start thinking about all that weight,
Mm-hmm.
having to haul that weight.
Right.
You see that Old Town. If you go back to the page, it shows all the different ones. You see the Old Town. They have one that runs a Minn Kota trolling motor in it, and that one's for $29.99.
Yeah, but then you're talking about, now you get back to battery.
Mm-hmm.
And battery, you're very limited on what you can do. Whenever we go somewhere, that's the first thing in my head is, okay, am I going to be able to get to where you're getting? Not for the fact of going through little shit, but I'm talking just distance-wise. Because I have a battery.
Mm-hmm.
So that there takes... Having a battery, you're very limited on where you can do and what you can do in a day. Because let's just take Bonnie Lake for instance, right? For
Mm-hmm.
instance. I can't even fucking speak. For instance, right? That's a very long
Yeah.
lake.
Hmm.
For the trek in there, you're talking about mile something. It's all freaking curvy just to get to the lake. So if I'm running full tilt, getting in there, and then get to that first island where we know we want to fish at, and then I'm pretty much limited to saying, okay, if you go, hey, I'm going to go to the point way at the end, right? Knowing that it's probably going to
Right.
take you 30 minutes to row your happy ass over there. I'd be like, I'm not going. I can't. I won't make it back.
Right.
So that's what sucks with the battery. So when you get a trolling, or if you get a kayak with a quote unquote trolling motor on it,
Yep.
what's
Yep.
the freaking point of having a kayak then?
Yep. Now I can't say because I have not pedaled the pedal drive yet as far as the propeller ones. I haven't tried one of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just looking at the ergonomics of the whole thing, I would think you could pedal a Hobie for a longer duration as far as the effort versus the pedal, okay? So, and of course you haven't done any of them,
Mm-hmm.
but I've done the Hobie before. So, the way the Hobie works is you essentially push with your feet. You don't pedal like a sit down bicycle like you picture in your mind. You're sitting down, but you're pushing. You're pushing, push, 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 push. That's how you do it. The other boats with the propellers, then you're sitting down like
Like an
like the bike at
exercise
the
bike,
gym. Like,
right?
yeah, right. So you think about that motion, the ergonomics of it, right? Versus sitting down and just push back and forth. Like I said, I can't 100% say because I haven't tried the propeller one, but I would think you could go a hell of a lot longer as far as how tired you got in the Hobie versus the propellers.
Because you're sitting more natural. You're not kicked back with your legs up in the air, with like for those propeller ones.
Right.
Right, I can see that. Yeah, if you're
That's
sitting
that's
down
my thinking on it.
and your legs are resting on the bottom of the boat and you're just basically just pedaling, moving your feet basically more than you're moving your legs, where you're actually about ready to do a display here in a second.
Right. Right. That's pedaling right versus. I mean, I think you still use the big muscles in your legs, but you're not. I don't know. You're not. The sit down ones. You see those guys. They're reclined a lot, and it looks like their legs are up high in the air, and
Mm-hmm.
you got to make a bigger motion. Your leg has to make a bigger motion to make that revolution. So you're making a revolution versus just pushing straight, push, push, push.
Right.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, and at the end of the day, I probably need to just try a propeller boat out next time I'm around one.
Well, yeah, it'd be cool. Like I said, it'd be cool to have a shop around here that would actually bring them out. You could do a display.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I'm trying to think. Now I just hope that we can do some better fishing.
Some fishing this weekend. Yeah, we'll
Right.
see. I mean, want to start getting the boat together and getting ready to put that down into the water.
Well, yeah, that's funny too because I was telling Maria today. I'm like, oh, Jade's fishing time's probably gonna start getting nixed a little bit.
Yeah,
Big boat time's coming.
it's coming. I mean, the weather got to help out a little bit, but I mean, the water temps are still 58 degrees. I'm not going swimming in that. If some idiot wants to come aboard and say, "Hey, take me wakeboarding," okay,
Right.
have at it. I'll be in my sweats and throw some dumb fucker out there and throw the GoPro up, and there you go. You're good to go. But yeah, no, I'll probably try and get something going with that. Take the cover off this week and get the batteries on the charger and clean it up a little bit. Shouldn't be too bad. Cleaned it up. It's already cleaned up, but
You just need to have one more hurrah season in that thing, and then it's time. It's Triton time.
Well, yeah, I
It's
mean,
Triton time.
i-
Skeeter time.
in all honesty, if I had some kind of
Alumacraft
fishing
time.
boat right now, we'd be out in that. I guarantee that. So it all depends on, you know, if we get enough people to go out. That's the problem with a nice pleasure craft is that during the week everybody wants to go. Everybody, oh yeah, man, this would be so great. Go out on the boat and have a good time. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, show up, come on out, come on out. Hell, you don't even have to pay for gas. Whatever. And then come that day, there's nobody there, and it's me and the wife floating down the river.
Right?
Do a little
Well,
bit. We do fish off of it a little bit, but you don't want to bring a fish aboard. Well, because I took you out that one year. Remember that one year, that last year?
right.
Yeah, and we went out and we're out there to
Out there in the dark.
freaking 80,000 pleasure boat, $80,000 for pleasure boat, freaking bass fishing.
Pulling up dinks. Yep.
And you hit the wakeboard tower
Yep. Yep.
with the cast and
Yep. Felt like I needed some backlash practice. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, it all depends. If we get the enjoyment out of it, then hey, great, man. We'll keep it and keep it down at the marina. But really, it gets to the point where you gotta say, okay, if it's just a matter of getting on the water, we know we're gonna go fishing. Leanne's really starting to like fishing, so that's good. And
And we could be hitting some Northwest bass.
we could hit some tournaments and going that route with it. I did see a cool 19-foot aluminum boat though on Bass Trader, Bass Boat Trader, or whatever the hell it's called. It was like 12 grand. Had a 200 horsepower Yamaha on there. 19
Right?
foot aluminum. Oh, it was beautiful. It's perfect. Perfect. That's one thing about it. Fiberglass or aluminum. I'm thinking aluminum. Aluminium, if you're from the Brit.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, and you get a nice Alumacraft or whatever, a nice aluminum boat. If you get, biggest one you can get, and you get what I think they're maxed out at. What we looked the other day, 115 horse.
Mhm.
You can still do some. You're not gonna be able to keep up with the glitter rockets, but you still can do some fishing.
Well, yeah, that's almost the same thing as the kayak. The glitter rocket for kayak world is the Hobie Peddler. You know, where you're rocking in the John boat, but you can still catch a fish.
Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
just not gonna get there first.
yeah. So my weekends are going to be a little bit more busier. If the summer ever hits, who knows? This is nuts, man. It's May 14th, and it feels like it's only February.
Mhm.
I mean, these water temps are crazy. I don't want. When you're out on the river and the temperatures are where they're at right now, it's cold, you know. And I get cold really easy lately for some reason. Probably because I lost weight, but a couple years ago, I sweat my ass off in a freezer, but now it's like I'm always cold.
Mhm.
But who knows? We'll see. Hopefully we go out. I love taking people out. I love getting people on the inner tube and giving them a ride. They don't like it afterwards. I remember your son. That time, I'm like, all right, Dilly, how do you want it? He's like, oh, you just be you, Jade. Okay.
Yeah. Wrong answer.
I remember seeing him out in the water, and all he sees is his life jacket and his head out of the water. He's like this. I'm like, you all right? He's like, yeah, I'm good. You ready to go
Yeah.
again? He's like, no, we'll wait. Look, give me a second.
Right.
Shoot. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll see how it goes this year. But yeah, it'll be back to the same schedule where go out in the morning, go fishing, and then come out and jump on the boat and go out and enjoy the summer. Hopefully.
If we get summer.
If we get a summer. Never know. Never know. All right. Well, I think that's pretty good, man. That's a little bit over an hour.
Yeah, that's about what we've been doing.
I don't think anybody's watching live. So to all the
I
people,
did see we got more views on the last video though.
yeah, I think we're starting to get some people watching the replays. I think about 10 of them are probably me and you going through them, just looking through it to make sure, see where the mistakes were made at.
I
Hopefully,
haven't even looked
hey,
if there's any comments yet.
hopefully the sound is recording, because who knows? We might go back and watch
Yeah.
this in about 10 minutes, and I'll be like hitting that delete button.
Right.
No, we should. I turned up my mic a little bit because I was a little low in the last one. And, hopefully people watch it and they watch it all the way through, because...
You didn't get your, did you get your lucky tackle box yet?
No.
Because I didn't get mine. I think it's supposed to come tomorrow. Because it would have been cool if it would have came yesterday, because then we could have talked about that too.
It said it shipped like a week and a half ago.
Yeah,
I think
mine is supposed to be here tomorrow, so you'll probably get yours too.
I think I got to hit cancel on that. Wait till the winter time.
Yeah.
I still think my last one's still sitting in there unopened. Or I opened it.
Mine's opened, you're right, but I didn't
pull
think
nothing
I
out
took
of it.
anything out of it. Yeah.
There was a crankbait in there though. I think I put it up on my wall. Yeah, I think so. It was a nice crankbait. I'll probably throw that in the mix somewhere, but I just don't think about it because everything's out in my garage. And then I get it and I open it up and give the card to my wife because she watches that YouTube Live, the golden ticket thing.
Oh, right.
She'll watch that, and I think last time they were giving away a kayak or something.
Yeah.
Might as well. I mean, hell, you get the ticket, you might as well watch it, so you never know what you might win. Might win something.
So I forgot to tell you. So real quick before we get off here. So I was watching. I want to say it was one of Chad Hoover's videos the other day, and he was wearing a Guggen Squad T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
But it was autographed by Fluke Master. And I don't know if he was taking a shot at him or one of those subtle things, but he was all talking about, I bet you don't got one of these. A Guggen Squad shirt signed by Fluke Master. I'm like, what the hell? Hey, this thing never ends. Anyway, you know what it was too, and then also Fluke Master was on Ike Live last week. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, you told me about it. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, and then Ike, and during their conversation, Ike Live brought it up. He brought up the Guggen Squad. He says, are they good for fishing or not good for fishing? And Fluke Master took the high road. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with either side of it, but Fluke Master took the high road and said, hey, if it puts more eyeballs and more people involved in fishing, then obviously it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that was interesting to see that Ike went there, knowing the history between those guys.
Well, that's probably because they have more subs than Ike has.
Maybe so.
But I've honestly, I've never seen not one of their videos.
Yeah, I've seen them, and one of the people that they collaborated with recently was this guy called Outlaw Dipper. Have you ever heard of this dude? Probably not. He's in Colorado, and I haven't figured out what his game is yet. He calls himself Outlaw Dipper, and he's got this man cave that he does he does videos on hunting and fishing and I think off-road trucking and crap like that. Anyways, he's got this man cave, and he has all these spittoons, which I think he sells, like a big wall of them, right? He's a Dipper guy. Well, this dude's got over 500,000 subscribers. And he just posted a video this week that I actually watched it, and it was all about how the YouTube game's changing and all these big companies have pulled out of YouTube sponsorship wise, and he was basically saying, which I had heard from other guys before, that a lot of these big YouTubers are shitting themselves right now
Mm-hmm.
because these guys quit their jobs and their whole life is YouTube, and they're not getting shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
If they're controversial, like he said, a lot of the hunting and gun and shooting channels and stuff like that, them dudes are done.
Wow.
The sponsors now they've gotten so strict on sponsors that if you say offensive things, or there's just everything's gotten so tight and restrictive that a lot of these big channels they're done
Right.
because these big companies don't want to have their name affiliated with stuff.
Well, which makes sense.
Well, especially the way the world's going,
I mean, if you,
everybody's ultra sensitive now.
well, yeah. I mean, everybody needs a hug.
Yep.
You know, Jesus Christ, you think it's the '60s again? Flower power and peace and love and smoking dope and driving Volkswagens. You know.
I guess a lot of people, according to him, a lot of people are switching over to Twitch and
I've seen a lot
some
of
other
Twitch.
stuff.
I've seen a lot
Yeah.
of Twitch stuff, but it's still the same thing over there, though, right? For advertisement wise, I don't even think. Actually, I don't know if Twitch does advertisement like YouTube does.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that part works, but a lot of guys they're doing Twitch and then also Patreon, which I'm not fully up on all the Patreon stuff, but a lot of them are going that way. And I think Patreon is just it's kind of a donation thing where people basically donate money to them.
Oh, if they want to watch the channel, they pay for it.
Yeah, I know when I first learned about Patreon was actually Lunkers TV was doing it for a while in the beginning, where he created what he called a Patreon account, and then basically you paid into that by donation, and then there would be videos on there that no one else got to see. So
Oh,
if you donated to his Patreon, he would have this other content that you could watch, but it was only for Patreon people. He did that for a while, and I don't think he's doing it anymore, or at least I hadn't heard anything about it, but it was one of the things he started out with. And then another thing that the Outlaw Dipper guy alluded to is, if you're gonna do the YouTube thing, you need to have other avenues besides just videos and subscribers. You need to have merchandise, and you got to sell some shirts or whatever, stuff, other ways to bring in revenue.
oh,
Because
most definitely.
the YouTube thing is, in his words, is in big trouble.
Mm-hmm. That's what they've been talking about for the last 5 months, 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with it. And so that's always us. We're always late to the game.
Right.
Last one through the door. Where are all the white women at?
See, stuff like that right there, man.
Oh, is
Look at
that?
that. You say something like that, there you can't have Target. What?
Oh, yeah. Shit. Ugh. Man, I have such high hopes for them too.
I know. Isn't it terrible?
Oh, you got to remember though that I had a gay bar as a sponsorship on my race car, so
That is, yes, I do remember that.
I told the guy straight up. He's like, well, how much does this money get me? I'm like, well, that'll get you the rear.
Right.
That'll get you the rear.
I always remember that at the track announcer when he was reading off your sponsor. My Visa and my MasterCard.
Hey, I would have put a damn. No, hell, I want to say it. I'd put a damn dildo as a stick shift on there if they paid me enough money. It wouldn't have mattered to me because what do we always say? I wear the hat for whatever's sponsoring me, right? I'm not a Chevy fan. I'm not a Ford fan. I'm not a Toyota fan. I'm a fan if I'm in their car. I'll wear that hat.
Yep.
But on the outside, I don't care. Whoever's paying the money. It'd be like
Yeah.
you. It'd be like you getting a sponsorship from what pole do you absolutely hate? What fishing pole do you actually absolutely hate and you would never buy one again? Or ever buy one, period.
Well, I would say I would say ugly stick, but I've heard ugly stick, believe it or not, is the number one selling rod in America.
That's because they sell them at Walmart.
Yep.
So let's say Ugly Stick comes to Mr. Brian and says, "Hey, buddy,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Yep.
we are going to give you a full arsenal, every rod you want for your fishing season." You'd be like, "Man, I love Ugly Stick.
Yep.
I'm an
Exactly.
ugly stick, ugly stick, ugly stick.
Exactly.
Love my ugly stick, right? While you're fishing your dobbins."
Yep.
So I mean, it doesn't matter. It's all who wants to pay the
And
bills.
that's the name of the game, right? And sponsorship. The funny thing is, some of those pros, they've been known to actually use lures and line and stuff that they're not sponsored by. But I know they have to be careful with that stuff.
Well, I remember listening to that story of was it G-Man that said that story about how he won a tournament and he was sponsored by Yum. He's sponsored by Yum, and he didn't throw one Yum bait that whole weekend because he wasn't catching nothing on that. And when he won
I
it,
don't remember hearing that
yeah,
one.
when he won it, he called up the Yum guy because the Yum guy was some old guy, right? Back in the day or whatever. Well, I don't want to say back in the day, a couple years ago, whatever it was. And he said, "Hey man, I got to tell you that I won, but I didn't use your bait." And he goes, "I don't know what to say. Do I tell him that I caught him on Yum?" And he's like, "No. If you tell him that you caught him on Yum, then you just lost all your credibility. So
Yeah.
you tell him what you caught him on. You caught him on Biospawn. You caught him on Strike King shit. It doesn't matter, you know.
Hmm.
But you're still we're still your sponsor for Yum Baits because well, you know how it is when you're fishing. You may be all ready to go, and you love your Senkos, and I go out there with a Yum Dinger, and I just start knocking the shit out of them. Guess what? You're gonna start throwing. You're gonna start throwing a Yum Dinger.
I'm gonna start throwing a spinner bait.
Right? I mean, so yeah, it's
It
actually a
was
pretty good
like,
story.
hey, it is. It's just like yesterday. You're gonna start throwing a Cinco.
Hmm. Yeah. I didn't, but I had one. I had one
Well,
in
you
my
were about
hand.
to.
I
Yeah,
did.
you were about to.
I was getting ready to tie it on there, but it would have been a waste because I saw the dinks that you were catching with it. It would have been a waste for me because I was only at 2 fish and freezing my balls off and I was shaking anyhow. I was sitting there like I was just.
Yeah.
There's one time I think I even got it on camera where the whole freaking boat shook. I was in there. The freaking boat was all
Yeah,
rattling around. Yeah, it
that
was.
was terrible.
That wind was just cold. It cut right through you. But that was my own fault because all I wore was light sweats and a light shirt. So, because I thought that
Yeah,
maybe the sun would come out and warm us up a little bit, but it didn't.
that was the same thing with me.
Next time I'll know to bring some long johns and a winter coat and a hoodie and snow boots and
Well,
gloves for May.
I'll tell you what, right now, as of right now, the forecast for this Saturday is sunny, high of 82, and southwest wind at 6. So let's pray that that holds up.
That'll be all right. We're gonna go north.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Potholes.
Yeah, that's yeah, I'd say that's on the short list.
Now I did talk to a guy the other day that he said the potholes, the level is dropping fast,
Really.
which is very amazing to me on how much water we got. But he said
Right.
it's dropping pretty quick.
Yeah, so it might be time to hit it before it gets too
If we
low.
could even get back in there and offload there.
Right. Well, I mean, if that's where we intend to go and we get up there and go, oh, this ain't gonna work. I mean, at least at that point, there's other options that aren't too far away
Yeah, we could go a little bit
to
further
make it down
north
to.
from Moses Lake out to Odessa. And don't forget
Yeah.
all those lakes to Quincy
Right.
that you wanted to try. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess if we do get there, then it's not a total write-off, but
We can have a plan B.
yeah. All right, everybody. So thanks for watching. If you did watch, Hopefully you watched. It's actually a pretty good conversation if you ask me, but I could be wrong. So,
Yeah, maybe we can get some comments on there.
right? Yeah, comment. If you watch it, comment. Let us know if you liked it. If we suck, whatever, do something. Just let us know, and
We got nowhere to go but up.
maybe.
Maybe.
All right. Peace out, fellas. Catch you on the next one.
Yep. Next time.